They slam that door and they go boom.
Yeah.
It was Satan.
Satan, maybe?
Satan. Stuff that's real. Stuff you feel. I've got to make a public apology
Yes.
to Jack. You want to tell him about when y'all left me in the back of the truck at a crack house
No.
one time? You don't want to tell that story?
No, we're not going to tell that one.
My mama won't be proud of that part of it. But them guys that got their armpits showing, I don't know how the hell they do anything but go straight.
Yeah. I'm going to have to decide if I'm going to keep that in there or not.
He said, I'll take you to Papa the Guy's casino and don't go nowhere else.
Yeah.
You can't be burning your hair and the balls banging off the saddlebags, you know. Yeah, well, they did.
Yeah, they did. Of course they did. They're rattlesnakes.
You know, when you're 10, my daddy, I went with him every day, and
Yeah.
my sister went with my mom, so it was like you lost your best friend at 10.
Yep.
Most of my life, I've rode motorcycles, chased women, drank whiskey, hunted and fished, and I wasted the rest of it.
Yeah, honey, I'm the bogey biker. And you know I'm here to stay.
Yeah, so Donnie's trying to make small talk with the cab driver who speaks zero English. And so Donnie's sitting there in the cab and we're driving through this crappy road, rock hill, and I'm thinking they're taking us to kill us. And Donnie goes, so y'all do any bird hunting around here? And the guy goes, okay. He goes, bird hunting, okay? Birds, doves, okay? Birds, he's flying. And the guy finally gets it, he goes, palomas. Yeah, y'all do any ploma hunting around here? They weren't speaking the same language. Well, Jason, you ready?
I reckon, buddy.
Yeah, well, I'll let you hit the button. Make it official.
All right. We're on air.
Yeah. 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 Here, you do it.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah. Take
Yeah.
12.
All right.
All right.
We're live from live on tape from beautiful downtown Crawford, Texas. Welcome back to Between the Bikes. Got my old buddy Jason
Yep.
in the hot seat. I've probably known Jason for 40 years. I was actually figuring up that this morning. You were talking about it, but it's 40 years.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of people I know that ain't family that I known for 40 years.
40 years, yeah.
My brother and I moved to Crawford when I was in 5th grade, and Jason's in 4th grade. Is that right?
Yeah.
Do you have any recollection of that?
No.
No.
No, but, you know.
I remember you in junior high and stuff, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah, when we finally got to football,
Yeah.
you know, 7th, 8th grade
Yeah.
football, that's when I knew y'all, but
Yeah, Jason actually built the Bogey Biker Studios.
I did.
They weren't the Bogey Biker Studios when he built it, but Jason built my shop.
Yep. During COVID, we had 2 weeks shut down, and I got my 2 teenage boys to come help me, and we put it together in 2 weeks.
I can promise you, our buddy Donnie's here, and if we did a 6, 8, 10 square bow, this sucker is square within a quarter of an inch.
Yeah.
Would be my,
Probably less than a quarter.
yeah. I would be gone for a day and come back. Well, it'd just be a concrete slab here and these big old beams laying down, and then an hour later, Jason had this sucker up, and it's like magic to me. I just don't.
It's a lot of work, but it's fun to do.
Yeah. Anytime I'm doing something that I don't know how to do, I make sure Jason's around and maybe act like I don't know how to do it worse, and he just takes over because he can't stand watching me screw around and mess it up.
That's fact.
So, yeah. Y'all know I just started riding motorcycles, but Jason, you've been riding motorcycles for how long?
I was trying to think about that. I think I got my first bike around 11, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Little Honda 80 on them street dirt trails.
Yeah.
Rode that thing in the pasture, up and down the road, visiting friends, and I wrecked it a few times. Flipped it one day, didn't even know I flipped it. I was hitting rocks in the pasture trying to jump it, and my sister was watching me, and apparently I hooked it with the tire, and it did a complete endo, and I didn't even know it. I landed on it, and I'm still riding, and she's like, "You flipped the whole bike," but yeah, I've owned a motorcycle for most of my life.
It seems like. What about your 4-wheeler? Did your sister break your arm on your 4-wheeler?
I wrecked the 4-wheeler and rolled over and broke my elbow.
Yeah.
I think we were 10, 11 years old, something like that. And
Yeah.
just left out of the house and going down the road, and I don't know, we wasn't paying attention, and I hit the ditch and flipped it upside down. And
I'm pretty sure. I thought your sister said she was driving that time. Is that not right?
I think I was driving.
driving?
Yeah, she was driving the time she ran over me with the snow sled. It snowed, and we never get snow here, and I think it was 87, 88. We had a pretty good snow, and we got one of them little plastic discs, and we were pulling it behind the four-wheeler and slinging way out like this, and she slung me way out and turned back and run right over me on the four-wheeler. Miracle I'm still alive, to be honest with you.
She told me something about a dune buggy in Wyoming or something when you were riding some relative's dune buggy and you went to pull start it. What's that story?
Yeah, there was I was visiting my uncle in Casper and had a go-kart, and there was a little kid that lived next door. I can't even remember the kid's name, but he'd watch all day long, and it had died, and he'd come up there, and I went to crank it, and he jumped in the go-kart and took off. Well, I just reached down to grab the emergency brake, and he dragged me down the road. I'm trying to stop him. I burned a hole in my damn pants, brand new pants, and a little sucker ended up hitting the curb, nearly wrecking it, and took off running to his house. Yeah, man, I hadn't thought about that in a long time.
Yeah. She said your grandpa used to disengage the mower so you could ride it around and pull stuff around the yard and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which grandpa was
that? That was my mom's dad. They had a ranch in Iredale, and we were up there all the time. And he put me on the lawnmower and take off, and I'd ride it everywhere, just ride a lawnmower. I figured out you could hold the clutch down on a big hill and make it go real fast. I like to tore up his lawnmower a few times.
So y'all know I've been just riding for a short time, and I blame the reason I didn't start riding motorcycles till I was 50 on him.
Yeah, I've got to make a public apology to Jack.
So when did you get he had a Honda CBR, as I remember.
Yeah, Honda CBR 600 crotch rocket. I was probably 19.
So that means I was 20. And I'm ashamed to admit this because as I remember it, I don't remember where we were. Do you remember whose house we were at? It doesn't really matter, but I think I was in flip-flops and shorts. It's summer, and Jason pulls up on this Honda CBR and says, hell, jump on the back and go for a ride. I'll just go slow.
Yeah.
Now, why in the world I would get on the back with him on a Honda CBR and think that he's going to be an honest person about that?
Yeah.
So
I
get
owe
on
you
the
a
back
public
of this
apology.
Motorcycle, and he's going 130 miles an hour like that. And I'm screaming, punching him, and said, stop this. I want off of here. He goes, oh, okay, I won't do it again. And we hit Highway 6 going towards Valley Mills. We got to be going. How fast was you going? We're going 120 miles an hour.
130, 140, I don't know. We were flying, and he's like, if you ever get me off this son of a bitch, I'll never get on a motorcycle again in my life.
Yes.
And I'm sorry. I
should
public apologize that I probably ruined your whole Harley experience for at least 30 years, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
How long did you drive that CBR?
2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
We used to meet on Valley Mills Drive with a group of guys, and there was 13 or 14 of us, and some of them were actually road racers. They raced professionally on the track with them crotch rockets, and we'd take off about midnight, Valley Mills Drive, and we'd head down Old China Springs Highway, and it was 130 pretty much all the way till we got out to Valley Mills and turn around and come back. And it's a miracle I'm alive. My mama, she can tell some stories. She finally saw me and my cousin at a red light, and of course she said they took off and they're riding wheelies down Valley Mills Drive, and she tries to catch us and never caught us. And really, I don't know how I lived through all that.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot about how to ride a motorcycle during those times.
Let me scratch that off my list because I actually talked to your mother about that.
Oh, you did?
I called her and said, you got any, I said, I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but you got any good stories, funny stories of motorcycles? She goes, well, as a matter of fact, I was at Waco Drive, and John's in the background, chiming in. I was at Waco Drive, and we were at a red light, and we saw some motorcycles, and we were talking about the motorcycles, and these motorcycles took off and doing a wheelie, leaving the red light, and John's like, yeah, doing a wheelie all the way down Waco Drive, and we figured out it was Jason, your cousin. So she vividly remembers that.
I rode that thing pretty hard.
Yeah.
I loved it. And unfortunately, a Harley don't handle like a crotch rocket, but I still try to relive them days. And I probably push it a little farther than I should, but if I'm not going fast and going crazy in corners, it's not as enjoyable as.
Yeah.
That's just years of riding a motorcycle, you know.
Yeah, it's a little struggle for a bogey biker to follow when Jason's leading the pack around these windy roads around here.
Well, yeah, I tell you, we got some that'll. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, you're right there now. But when we first started, I'd look back and Gerald be in my rearview mirror. He's feet out on the pegs. He's right behind me, and Rich is right there too. You know. So. And I don't realize it when I get to riding. I don't even hardly look at the speedometer. It's just kind of how I feel at the moment.
So you went from a CBR to what?
After that, I got a like an '84 Kawasaki KZ 750, like an old inline 4 motor, and the seat on it was about that long. You could put 4 people on it. And I brought it home, and being the fabricator that I am, I couldn't stand that. So I got a torch out and a Sawzall, and I cut the whole thing down, and I made a solo seat. I put a Harley fender on it, lowered it down, made it a rigid, and it kind of made it into a rat rod. And I didn't expect much out of that bike when I got it. I bought it off a buddy of mine. He needed some money, so I got it from him. And man, I rebuilt the carburetors, and that old bike would scream. I was really impressed.
What was it?
It was an old Kawasaki 750, like an 80 mile. I think it was a YZ or KX 750. I don't know.
And you're in your 20s or 30s or?
Yeah, mid 20s. Maybe 30s by that time. And then after that, I got a Yamaha Roadstar 1800, and I rode that thing everywhere. And then after that, I got my first Harley in 19. I bought a brand new 19 Street Glide, and then just bought the new 22 or so, new to me. But
yeah, he kept trying to get me and my brother to buy a bike, and he was about ready to sell it because
I was
riding. And
the old group that I rode with was friends of my second wife. I hate to admit, we start talking about numbers of wives here, but the second wife, the group that I rode with, after the divorce, we just kind of lost touch, and then COVID happened, and nobody was going. Our deal was ride 100 miles, stop at a bar, have a beer. Ride to another bar, have a beer, and then nobody was riding until you guys come along. So I was about ready to get out of the bike business totally. So I'm glad y'all decided.
So you had your 19 when we started, and y'all saw that a couple times, and then just recently got your 22.
Yeah, ST, Road Glide, Street Glide ST.
ST, yeah. And you said there's a big difference between your 2019 Street Glide Standard and a 22 Street Glide
ST. I don't know, people that ride, y'all will understand, but like the 19 Street Glide, I'm a corners guy. I love going fast in corners and handling, and that thing to me was a dog. Really, it was the worst handling motorcycle that I've owned to date. And when I got the 22, I don't know if they changed the lean angle, they changed the rake, they raised it up, whatever they did, but that thing handled like a dream. So now I'm back to this, you lean in the bike turns. At 19, you lean and it still wants to go this way. So a whole lot better handling motorcycle. So.
And you put the Tab Performance pipes on it, sounds
zombie,
good.
The zombie battles.
Do much. You don't have plans to do much?
No, I may raise the handlebars just a little bit. But I've had this conversation with y'all. The lower they are, the more control you have over a motorcycle. Them guys that got their armpits showing, I don't know how the hell they do anything but go straight. But that's just me. But that might be the only other thing I do is add maybe 2 up, 2 back. I won't even have to change cables or nothing. Go from there.
So Jason and I have a lot in common, but we also are different in a lot of ways, and probably the main difference is the rattlesnakes. When I was talking to your mom, she just said, I don't know where he came from because I can't stand that. So Jason's been an old rattlesnake hunter forever, it seems like.
Never been scared of snakes. And then I worked with a guy that was a rattlesnake hunter.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, well, my family's got a ranch in Iredale. I think there's 1,800 acres up there, and there's big bluffs and mountains, and I know there's a lot of rattlesnakes up there. And I started going with him around here locally, and then we went up there one year, and we got a 5'9", 5'7", 5'4", and a 5-foot snake out of one hole. I mean, them suckers were that big around.
Oh, I remember
5'9".
I said last week there'd be no more snakes on the channel, but I got to put some pictures of this stuff up here.
Oh, you got some. Huh?
Well, I'll put it in when I'm editing.
But yeah, we 2 or 3 years ago, I think I had 289 rattlesnakes.
Yeah, you go over to his shop and he has a 55-gallon drum with 289 rattlesnakes on there and no lid. And I'm like, what? You're not gonna? He goes, oh, they're not gonna get out. I mean, the hell, they can't climb up that far.
Yeah, well, they did.
Yeah, they did. Of course they did. They're rattlesnakes.
Well, rattlesnakes aren't really known
Every
for
time
climbing.
I walk in his shop, I'm like a damn ballerina. Like, where in the hell?
But it was good theft deterrent.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about nobody breaking in.
Yeah.
They slam that door and they go boom.
Yeah.
The whole shop buzzes. They're like, yeah, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So,
His current wife put it into that. You can't have that in your shop anymore.
I can, but I had to get a different box.
With a lid on it.
With a lid, and it locks. And so,
Minor detail.
Minor detail.
Christy will appreciate the term current wife.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
current one.
Oh, okay. Let's say that different. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. They got out one time. My boys were out there, and a good friend of mine, Keith Nelson, he calls me Dago. He says, Dago, you dumb son of a bitch, you got them rattlesnakes and these little kids. And it was bad timing because he just pulled up there and my boys run out. And Dalton said, Daddy, there's a rattlesnake under the edge of this bench over there. Well, hell, there was 4 of the biggest ones. They were big enough to get out and crawl out in my shop. So I had to go gather up 4 of them. And Keith just shakes his head and says, I'm a dumbass, and takes off,
So when you get the snakes, then what do you do with them?
I keep them in that box. The roundup is usually end of February, 1st February. We just,
To both of them, yeah.
You've seen both of them, and I've actually won both of those rattlesnake roundups. There's Oglesby is where I started. I won it 4 or 5 years in a row with most snakes. I don't think I ever won biggest snake at Oglesby, but I won biggest snake at Walnut 2 or 3 times. But I usually when it gets cold and they're in the dens, so I'd start hunting around after deer season, end of December, 1st of January, and then keep them in that box until time to go to the show, and then you take them to the show. And the reason I haven't hunted, the year I had nearly 300 rattlesnakes, the price had dropped to nothing. They were only bringing $2 a pound.
So what did your 300 rattlesnakes weigh?
Oh, anywhere from 2 pounds to 4 pounds a piece.
So you had 800 pounds of snake.
Yeah, at $2.
$2.
So
But
nobody,
now
now
$8 a
they're
pound.
back to 8 or 9. And actually the year before I had all those, it was at $12 a pound. But Sweetwater in Texas is the largest rattlesnake roundup, and they had 80,000 pounds of snakes turned in. And it killed the market. It went from $12 a pound to $2 a pound. Well, I was going to turn all my snakes loose. And the Lions Club kicked in $2 more to get people $4 a pound, which still wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
I should have probably went and turned them all back loose,
Yeah.
just in a den that I know where they're at. And next time I go, I can go get 300 snakes out of one den. So.
No.
Neighbors probably wouldn't like you too much when you turn 300 rattlesnakes loose.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Jason's also a deer hunter. I go deer hunting, but I'm not really a deer hunter.
I deer hunt my whole life, and in the job that I had, I learned to be not only welder and maintenance guy, but a machinist. So we had my cousin and I built custom rifles for a few years. So we had Compton custom rifles, and I do all the machine work. So got it to where I really like to shoot, you know, like that.
Yeah.
So, but I've always loved hunting and fishing. I mean, I tell people all the time, most of my life I've rode motorcycles, chased women, drank whiskey, hunted and fished, and I wasted the rest of it. Yeah. That's pretty much, that's how my life is in a nutshell.
Which one was the most expensive?
Women. Yeah, that cost me more than anything else that I've had. I could have had several motorcycles.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have owned Harley Davidson.
Yeah, I'd probably have a big interest in Harley right now.
Yeah, so like I said, everybody needs a Jason. He's kind of a jack of all trades. So you're a rancher too. You got cows in the cow business and the hay business.
Cows, been running cows since, well, my family's been doing that my whole life. And I got a job at a factory in Waco when I was 18, and always been a part of ranching and farming. And I got leased a few places and got cows when I was 18. And I still run cows, still do hay. Every now and then build a metal building, do some machine work, fabricating, just a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
So
Also, he plays the guitar.
play the guitar.
How long you been playing the guitar?
John plays the guitar, and my brother-in-law plays the guitar, and they've always sat around and picked and played, and always was kind of jealous of that. And so on my 21st birthday, I bought my first guitar and a videotape at that time. And I watched the videotape, and I was remodeling my house, so I sat on bare concrete floors watching a VCR tape and taught myself how to play the guitar.
Yeah.
And I was 21 years old.
Yeah.
So.
Jason sings like a bird. He's got a really good voice, which I hope we'll do a little picking and grinning here.
We'll see. I'm a little hoarse today, but you know,
Yeah.
rough night.
So, what do you enjoy most about the Rusty Bolts and what we're doing together as a group?
I just like the fun.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's the camaraderie and the laughing and the jokes and the cutting up. And don't get me wrong, I love the riding part too. It's a relaxed ride. It's not a.
Because pretty much me and.
Well, it's just not that. It's just when you get in a group.
We're not hammering the corners. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be burning your hair and the balls banging off the saddlebags, you know.
Well, without a nickel.
You know, that's the way I like to ride, but you can't do that. But
Yeah.
I like the rides and the fun. The places we go is what I enjoy.
Yeah.
So
Did we figure out, are you the youngest Rusty Bolt by you?
I probably am the
else?
youngest. I'm 48 and y'all just turned 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the youngest Bolt.
Yeah. I'll be 49 this summer, so.
Yeah.
Yep. Warren or Donnie got me.
We got some pretty Rusty Bolts behind the camera that a little bit older than 48.
Yeah, Warren said there wasn't much threads left on them bolts.
Yeah. 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 So you're married to your beautiful wife.
Yep.
And y'all have 3 boys together.
Yep, I've got my oldest son's 21, and then my youngest is in college. He's 20, and then Christy's boy, Tristan, is in the Navy.
Yeah.
And he's in Norfolk,
Yeah.
Virginia, and he was on the Wasp.
Yeah.
And was out to sea a long time, but now he's back home, or not home, but stationed back there, and he's teaching now. So, yep, we got 3 boys between us, and all successful, all doing good. I mean, couldn't be prouder of them.
Yeah.
I mean, oldest one went to lineman school and become a lineman. And bought him a little house in 10 acres here right up the road.
Pretty lucky.
I am lucky, very lucky. The youngest one's going to be a traveling male nurse.
Yeah.
I said, well, Probably be the only job you can get making as much money as your brother.
Yeah.
Whole lot easier job.
In demand, yeah.
In demand.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's 6'4", 220, so I told him you're just going to be flipping old people in beds is all you're going to
Old
be
fat
doing.
people in
Yeah,
bed.
just flipping them over so they don't get bed sore.
Yeah,
I said, that'll be your job.
yeah,
They'll call you to pick them up because you're big as a house.
yeah.
So,
And he got a great family. We grew up with your sister. I talked to her today.
Did you?
She gave me some of these stories, so she's excited to see.
she
this.
loves to tell stories about me.
Yeah.
I kind of always keep them quiet, and she's the one that spills the beans on me all the time.
Yeah.
So.
We can't tell all of those stories, but
No.
and then you're real close to your mom and your stepdad, and so your dad died when you
10.
yeah.
Yeah, I was 10 years
Dad
old.
died when he was 10 years old, and then but you're real close to your stepdad
Yep.
and your mom, and you ranch all their place and
Yep,
do
I lease all their place and
lease all
run
their
cows
place.
there,
Yeah,
and
so-
you know, when you're 10, my daddy, I went with him every day, and
Yeah.
my sister went with along, so it was like you lost your best friend at 10.
yeah,
So when John come around, I was probably hard person to deal with. I
Yeah.
was just a little rebellious turd, is
Yeah.
what I was.
yeah,
And then over the years, me and him got the greatest respect and the
Yeah.
best, the best relationship.
Yeah.
Just, looking back now that I'm damn near 50,
yeah,
he took on a widow and 2 little kids when he already had kids that were raised, and got a lot of respect for the man.
yeah. And he's in his 80s and works every day he's in way better shape than me and you are.
Yeah.
Or than me. Anyway.
He's 85,
climbing up on
86.
roofs and-
Yeah, and he's up pressure washing the top of the motorhome and running a backhoe and fixing fence, and
It's pretty incredible.
yeah, I need whatever water he's drinking.
Yeah.
It ain't this water.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about your newest passion. About the time I started getting all into motorcycles, I've been a golfer my whole life, and Jason never really played golf. And about the time I started getting into motorcycles, Jason got into the golf, and he wants to play golf all the time instead of riding motorcycles. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't play in high school like y'all did.
Yeah.
I guess I was 19, 20. I worked at a factory in Waco, and they had a golf tournament.
Yeah.
So I borrowed some old clubs from my uncle, and they was all wooden drivers. Yeah, real wooden driver, and nothing matched.
Yeah.
And it was an old bag with dirt daubers and shit in it.
Yeah.
And I played, and I thought, man, this is fun. Well, I probably shot 130. I don't even know. And so I was.
Better if you go high.
Yeah, I thought it was better if it's higher, but I didn't realize it's the lower the score. But I definitely won the high score.
Yeah.
But no, I was a self-taught hack for years. I might have broke 100 a few times in my life. And then I finally decided to get serious about it 2 years ago, I guess. So I bought brand new clubs, and Jack told me to go see our good friend Donnie and get some lessons. And
Golf Whisperer.
I took 6 or 7 lessons, and I'd been playing quite a bit before that, and I'd got to where I was pretty much in the 90s a lot of the times. But y'all told me it was going to get worse before it got better, and it did. I went from kind of in the high 90s to mid 100, 105, 110, and then all of a sudden it come down, and I shot 4 or 5 rounds in the 80s, and now for some damn reason I'm back in the 90s again. I don't know. It's just golf's frustrating.
It's a 4-letter word for a reason, I can promise you.
Yeah.
His other passion maybe is bourbon. Jason's been a bourbon guy for a long time, and I'm going to say Jason and I have been friends our whole lives.
Yeah.
But really the last 5 or 6 years, I've moved just down the road from him. So I would guess you and I see each other as much as we see our wives.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty close. I mean,
2 or 3, 4 times a week.
He came over the other night and had 5 new bourbons that we do a little taste test here in the shop on a Tuesday night and end up getting drunk.
I don't know if we got really, but we.
But you enjoy the bourbon, yeah?
I do.
What are you drinking tonight?
Some Basil Hayden.
Yeah. The toast or the regular?
The regular. The older you get, the more income you got.
Yeah.
So the better bourbon you can try to drink.
Yeah.
And so I've tried a bunch, and you finally settle into 2 or 3 good ones.
Yeah.
But I definitely like a glass of bourbon.
You was a wild turkey guy
Forever.
I guess when you get older, like everything, your tastes change.
It does. It changes. I mean, I still like a good 80 proof wild turkey, not the 101.
Yeah.
Too hot for me, but yeah. And you give up all the soda water, mixing it with and all that, and you just put a little bit of ice and water in there and go. But
Yeah.
a good bourbon is it's hard to beat.
Yeah.
It really is for me.
Yeah.
My mama won't be proud of that part of it. But.
I told her I wouldn't let you embarrass the family.
Well, that's good. I've done that enough in my lifetime. Yeah, that woman has been through hell raising me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been pretty fortunate with my 2 boys. They wasn't nothing like I was.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. I don't know that you can be these days with all the social media and everything. I don't think you can do the
Yeah,
stuff that we did.
and like we said in the break, it's thank God there was no cameras or any of that when we were kids, because we'd probably all be in jail.
Real trouble. Yep.
In jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're gonna have Jay come up and let Jason and Jay do a little duo, but
Got an old blue shirt, suits me just right. Like the way it feels, so I wear it all the time. Got an old guitar, won't ever stay in tune. Like the way it sounds in a dark and empty room. Got an old pair of boots, fit me just right. I can work all day, I can dance all night. Got an old used car that runs just like a top. I get the feeling it ain't ever gonna stop. Stuff that works, stuff that holds up. The kind of stuff you don't hang on the wall. Stuff that's real, stuff you feel. The kind of stuff you reach for when you fall.
got a
Pretty good friend who's seen me at my worst.
He can't
Tell if I'm a blessing or a curse. But he always shows up when the chips are down. That's the kind of stuff I like to be around. Stuff that works, stuff that holds up. The kind of stuff you don't hang on the wall. Stuff that's real, stuff you feel. The kind of stuff you reach for when you fall. There we go.
little loose. All right, well, Jason, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate your friendship. I don't have too many people outside of family that I've known for 40 years. And I appreciate your support and everything I'm doing on the
Oh, yeah.
YouTubes. And having a
Enjoying
good
it.
time. So,
Enjoying it, buddy.
So thank y'all for watching. And once again, I'm going to Sturgis this year. I'll be there August 1st through the 5th. So hopefully I'll see some of you there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
We'll see you down the